Okay, welcome. Oh, we started. There's our good friend Russell Targ in the first row, who should be honored as one of the founders of this whole movement that's opening up consciousness to new avenues of possibility. And Russell had a vision of what's possible in the 1970s, and now it's historic. If you Google remote viewing, you'll get probably 5 billion references to it. And it really started with Russell and Hal
Yeah.
Puthoff and Ingo Swann at Stanford Research Institute.
We're going to bring him up right after your video.
Oh, we're going to bring up right after the video.
Okay.
So we want to welcome all of you to making contact, to becoming a remote viewer experiencer. And we want to share with you the in-depth work that has been going on behind the scenes.
First, we'll start with this quote from Carl Jung.
Right, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, which means, we're being moved by these impulses and by these like animal type emotionalities. But when you become aware of it, you can control your fate and destiny. You don't have to be a victim to it. That's what we're doing with the remote viewing. We're activating the higher awarenesses of who we really are.
And so, moving on to an understanding of a book that Dr. Hurtak and I came out with called Mind Dynamics in Space and Time with our associate Elizabeth Rauscher. We were actually in Egypt. And we said to Elizabeth, during the day, we're going to be at this location. She knew it was Egypt, but, you would put the pyramids or something else, even the highway or whatever. But actually, you can see how accurate Elizabeth Rauscher was. She tuned in from Phoenix, Arizona, and she saw exactly the light post that was there and the number of people that, at least the men that were standing and walking. And you can't see this too well, but there's a very odd cobalt blue or some sort of blue gate to get into this building. This is at one of the universities, and she actually wrote the word cobalt blue on it. So that's remote viewing from
We're talking about
distance.
Thousands of kilometers away, she being in Arizona and we being in Giza, Egypt, at the university. And she was able to pick up, as you can see in the personal notations to the upper right, there were 4 individuals. There's a security officer working on his little cell phone, and one of the university professors with me carrying his briefcase. We were able to use remote viewing to locate certain underground caverns and passages in the Giza Plateau area.
It's proven the mind, there's something about us, the mind conscious is non-local. Russell and Hal and Ingo proved this, over 50 years ago. And now we're just learning about it publicly and how everyone can do this. But it's not only just space. When I show the video of Russell teaching me to remote view, it's like 20 something years old. People are somehow able to travel back in time and get the object that's in Russell's right hand jacket pocket. And that's always a miracle. How did that happen, Russell? But he'll tell us.
Yeah, he's
But
going
I
to
want to emphasize the erudite minds that were connected with our work with Elizabeth Rauscher. These are the upper 1% in physics, mathematics, social science, etc., that understood there was a human potential that was able to open doors of perception. And there was no such thing as secrecy, as we would call it, that the doors of the consciousness would be open to all directions.
Well, that's what Russell says in his movie Third Eye Spies, No More Secrets, which is really a great film to show.
And so let's take a look at some other remote viewing groups. This is from the Hawaiian Remote Viewing Group. And basically, they only gave the remote viewer a number, or at least a combination of letters and numbers.
This is called coordinate remote viewing, where you don't have a picture, you're just giving person numbers and they're tuning in to what that numbers are about.
Yeah, and so it has nothing with northeast, south, or west or anything like that. It was just simply D9P6-N5W4, and it related to this Kahi power plant in Hawaii. And you can see that the remote viewer came very, very, very close to exactly what it was, especially with the one tall tower, the obvious, other scenarios of water close by.
Without a ticket? Yeah, you
Yeah.
can let them in. Let them in.
Yeah.
Let them in as our VIP guests.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, yes. So you can see that accuracy. Now, this is the work we did. Dr. Hurtak did write a book with Russell Targ called End of Suffering, which was a combination of a Buddhist philosophy of Nagarjuna and actually remote viewing. And because when you start getting into remote viewing, you start getting into understanding of consciousness.
Right, that think you're in that body, but you're really a receiver and sender of the bigger being that you really are, the infinite being that you are.
On the cover of the book is the work of Ingo Swann, the famous artist and remote viewer specialist, highly influential upon Russell and Harold Pudoff, who gave us this amazing picture of what we call the cosmic egg with the whirling galaxy within it. It's sort of an illustration of human potential.
Actually,
with our mind's eye, we have within us the whirling universe.
It's actually Ingo who coined the term remote viewing, and I knew him towards the end of his life, and he said to me he wished he would have been known as a painter first, not a remote viewer. But what are you going to do? He's now part of history as far as that.
So one of the illustrations in the book is connected with Russell because this is the area of Columbia, San Andreas, the airport. And was it Hal Pudoff, Russell, that was there? Who was out there?
Yeah.
Right. So Hal Pudoff was traveling in South America, and this was ending up being the target. And one of the remote viewers, was it one or
Russell did that.
Was the one that did this. So basically, this is what Hal was looking at, and this is what Russell actually was able to draw, because I think no one showed up that day.
The landing pad at San Andreas, Columbia. Russell got that target. He actually
We're looking at the geometry of the airport runway with the ocean at the far end, and also the grassy knoll, and also the shape of the airport terminal on the left-hand side of the sketch. And so you can see how the mind can grasp visual details in greater depth.
I teach remote viewing thanks to Russell's informing me how to do this. And I call this a bullseye. I call it target practice. You're looking at targets. So there's a lot of target practice, and people get general shapes. Well, you get this is a bullseye right to the target. So we're going to do target practice today.
All right. So now, Alan, this is the next one. You want to talk about?
This is the famous video that I learned to do. Are we going to do it now?
Yeah.
Or you want Russell's?
No, then we'll call him up.
Oh, we'll call him up to do something? Okay, this is what I was talking about when Russell taught me how to remote view, and we're all going to do this together, okay? So before he shows the object, we're going to stop and ask people to do that, to get the object.
Well, the objects are later on, yeah.
No, but the object that's in his pocket. We're going to remote view it. Yes, that's the point of this. Well, just try it, okay? Okay.
I don't know if I can stop it.
I think we should do it at the end then, because this is like a remote viewing exercise.
Well, this is just a practice. This is just showing it.
I know, but I want people to get this.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it over. Yeah.
Okay.
It's too complex.
No, we'll come back to it.
I'll just stop it.
All right. Just stop it, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Okay. This is Russell showing me how to remote view directly.
Yeah.
It's about 24 years ago.
Okay, hold on. This didn't work.
Oh, anyway, should play. Actually, this is on Russell's website as well. What's your? Oh yeah, make it louder.
Is that we had continuous support.
A little louder back there.
To the group of agencies, NASA, the Army, the Air Force, for 20 years to do this group of experiments, and that in itself is paranormal.
Okay, so let's go into how easy you say it is to do actual remote viewing, because I think a lot of people don't have to spend thousands of dollars and take a week course to do this.
All right. Now, I don't know if you can do all this and hold the microphone.
I could do it. Go ahead.
You can do it.
Go ahead. What do you need?
Right? You draw with your right hand.
I do draw with my right hand.
Okay, and give you a pen.
Okay.
And the way this works is that I have an object that I've brought here for you that you've never seen. It's an interesting, unusual object that I have in my pocket.
So
Here,
what do I
what
do?
you want to do is close your eyes and describe the fragmentary pictures that come to view. What surprising thing pops into mind? Usually the first impressions are golden. That is, it's as though you've reached out and you've just dipped into the psychic signal. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Always makes me happy when a person says, what this thing is."
He's giving me clues how to do this. Can you make that louder?
CIA says, it looks like you're at the right place.
Okay.
What else can you tell me? What else is happening? When I hand you this object, what additional interesting thing comes to view?
So I'm kind of picturing you handing me an object, and then
Or the object's in your hand. You can see this thing in your hand.
okay, what will come to view?
You say, yes, this first sketch is not bad. We say you contacted the object. I'm not going to give you any clues.
Okay.
All I'm allowed to say is tell me more. What have you got over there on the left? That's very
This is kind of like a little plant image that I thought of. I mean, it just came to me, the idea that would be sort of just, I don't know, just the image just arrived, sort of.
So Russell's giving me clues about how to remote view. So it's not about guessing or thinking. It's about letting the image come to you, right? So there's a signal versus the noise. The signal is the psychic signal being emanated from Russell's pocket there 24 years ago. The noise is all the things in your head that you think it might be. It could be this or that. And when you get the signal, it pops into your mind out of nowhere. That's the key here. So maybe we should, should I show it to you and then we'll do practices on other things? Okay, you want to just show it?
Well, just keep going. Keep talking for now.
Okay, so that's the idea. You're going to close your eyes, get still, and you're going to let this thing appear in your mind. It is the right brain that accesses the unknown. So, anyone tuning into this object?
The right brain is the musical, the metaphysical, the feminine, as it was called historically by philosophers. That part that sees holistic relationships.
It's tapped into the infinite field. So is anyone getting an image here of anything that might be in Russell's pocket? Usually I have people write this down, and usually it's better with pencil and paper. What are you getting? A green sphere. Okay. Anyone else getting? What'd you get?
And look what this
A
thing
Christmas
doesn't
tree?
make any sense at all. I said it's wonderful.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's as though you've drawn the first out.
You got a green stone.
The CIA
A
says
sphere
it
around
looks
it.
like you're at the right place.
Metal.
Okay.
What
Okay,
else can you
that's
tell
very
me?
good. What'd you get?
When I hand you this object, what additional interesting thing comes to view?
When you see the object, this is what they call
I'm
feedback.
picturing you handing me an object.
You'll see which part of your mind
Or
accesses
it's
the
in
object.
your hand. You can see this thing in your hand.
You see this
Okay,
thing.
what
Just
will
imagine
come
this
to
thing in your
view?
hand. Anybody else?
What
you get?
It's not that you say you contacted the object.
That's a little
I'm not gonna
noise,
give you
but
any
That's not bad.
clues.
Okay.
All I'm allowed to say is tell me more.
you see what my problem is. I name the object. You don't want to name it. You want to describe it.
I mean, it just
That's
came
the
to me,
key.
the idea
Mm-hmm.
that
So
that would be.
what I did here was name the
I
object.
don't
'cause
know. It just, the image just arrived, sort of like
Delightful.
And it was a complex.
thing,
Mhm.
like that.
So
So,
a judge would already be able to
Don't use
match up my object with your drawing.
oh, really?
So if you said I've got to go now, that's all I have, and I pulled out 6
That's getting
possible objects from the closet along with my object, a judge would already be able to match
Mhm.
And I realized that you're struggling all the way. That as you say, this isn't it. This reminds me of something. This isn't it. But you already described my object.
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
it is to me.
I was very surprised. Okay, ready for the object? Ready for the reveal? Anyone got black triangle, black? Nope. That was
There you go.
That was anyone
It's
get
like a
close to
turtle
that?
shell.
You got it? Good. You're only triangle metal. If you got
I
metal.
mean, I really got. And you have
That's what's coming in from the actual field of energy.
a powerful signal. So
The thing is,
So that's a very basic understand. We're going to do more. That's just a warm up. But the more I show this video, the more people get it. It's now in the collective field. Did you get it, Trisha?
you were carefully chosen from the Fort Meade group.
who was that?
Hal Puthoff and I chose 6 people, one of whom was Joe McMonagle,
Right.
and there are a number of others who have surfaced to greater or lesser degrees. Joe has written books about his experiences, so I'm comfortable talking about
Right.
Joe. Those 6 then went back to Fort Meade and told dozens of people, showed dozens of people how to do remote viewing.
People like Ed Days, David Morehouse, who wrote a book like
Brown.
Courtney Brown. And so what can we do with this? And what
it proves is that even an interviewer on camera can expand his awareness to be in contact with something besides its physical body. So it shows that there's more to us than just being a physical body. We inhabit physical bodies, no doubt. It's wise to take care of them, but there is more to us and more to our awareness and more experiences available to us than you would think if you just think that you're made of meat and potatoes. And that kind of expanded awareness can lead you to learn to quiet your mind, reside in the loving space that the mystics have taught about for thousands of years. And that space is available without having to believe anything silly. It's a gift that's available to expanded awareness.
And that expanded awareness is what other people call consciousness.
That's right.
Thank
Russell,
you.
you've given us a wonderful definition
Thank
of
you.
consciousness, something beyond the physical perceptual apparatus. It deals with the whole unity of life itself.
So it's this we'd like to invite Russell Targ himself to
Yes,
come up.
let's-
He's only here for one day at the conference. He'll be later on, right following this, at a panel for legends. So please join him also on that panel.
Right. And Russell really is the innovator here. He's the teacher. He's, in a way, the master of this.
Okay.
He dedicated his life to developing the science of mind. And I'm so happy to be back with Russell on stage. There. Yes. Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you, how many of you have had experience with remote viewing?
Oh, there we go. Great.
A few of you. So, in the beginning, I was a kid doing magic on the stage, as a 14-year-old punky kid doing magic. And in the beginning, I had the experience of people in the audience thinking about things, and their image would come to me. So I was able to supplement my punky trick with whatever psychic things came to my mind. And I was also an enthusiastic bridge player. And I was aware that from time to time, I knew more about what the opponent's hands were. So they would often call the tournament director and say, "Do you guys have some secret convention?"